All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. NBA, don't copyright that. Don't copyright that. Oh wait, I think that's college basketball. Yeah, it's college basketball. It's just Chet Holmgren, future Detroit Piston, balling his ass off. Welcome back to the channel, man. We are in a new location. We're out here in Florida, so I apologize. I hope y'all see this video, man. The Wi-Fi in my room is not the greatest. Detroit, I just love making Detroit Pistons videos. So basically, quick background, dude, I used to live in Northville. I was very, very young, but I used to live just outside of Detroit. That's basically a Detroit suburb, and I love Detroit sports. Like, obviously, I'm from Chicago, and so I'm not, like, actively rooting for the Detroit Pistons, but it's not like I'm rooting against them. And considering, you know, my affiliation to the Houston Rockets, I don't mind a nice little Detroit Pistons win, but they've won 3 straight games. They've won 3 straight games, and, you know, regardless of how many games they finish with, they'll have a top 5 pick. You know, Detroit's going to have a top 5 pick in this year's draft, and personally, in my opinion, you know, this draft class, I don't think it's the strongest, but that top 5, there's going to be some stars. You know, there's going to be some stars in that draft class, and you know, I understand from like a Detroit Pistons standpoint, like if you're a fan, you like these wins, you like going on a 3-game winning streak, but I would imagine ideally it starts to like fade off and you finish the season like at most 25 wins. If you finish the season with 25 wins, you'll be just fine. You know, you'll be just fine. And even if Detroit were to somehow fall out of the top 5 in the draft class, they'll be just fine, dude. They'll be just fine. You want to know why? It's because of a little cat named Cade Cunningham. Now, about like 2 or 3 days ago, I made a video on Cade, and I said he's my rookie of the year. And basically what I said in that video is obviously he's not like rookie of the year, like statistically based. You have, I believe right now it's Mobley, Scotty, and then Cade. Basically the point I was trying to get at here is Cade is catching his groove. I mean, tonight, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, you know, had a steal, had a block. Cade Cunningham is my rookie of the year. He was the only starter to finish with a positive plus 11. And, you know, it just gets me to like the whole grand scheme of things. I love talking about Troy Weaver because Troy Weaver's a genius, dude. Like, Troy Weaver's an absolute genius. And, you know, I take a look at this Pistons lineup. It's so intriguing. Like, the Detroit Pistons are such an intriguing basketball unit. And when they traded for Marvin Bagley at the deadline for, you know, essentially not a bag of chips because he gave up a solid piece, but I think in the grand scheme of things, in the long run, the Detroit Pistons made a genius move. I mean, Marvin Bagley, this is a lottery pick, dude. This guy, like, Marvin Bagley almost went number 1 overall. Tonight, 19 points. So basically, Isaiah Stewart got injured about 10 minutes in tonight. I think it was something right leg related. Hopefully, he's all good. I love Beef Stew. I love Isaiah Stewart. But Marvin Bagley is such an intriguing player. He's a great lob threat. You already see it with Cade Cunningham. You saw it immediately when they traded for Marvin Bagley and they put him in the lineup. Just the lob factor alone makes this team even more exciting. And, you know, granted, Detroit's got its flaws. Every rebuilding team has its flaws. Personally, Corey Joseph, like, I'm not trying to diss Corey Joseph. I just don't see his role on this roster, like, as far as, basically, he's on a player option, so he's probably going to accept that, you know, just to get that guaranteed money. I think that's something I've really learned this year is players love that guaranteed money. We saw it kind of in the buyout market. Like, players want that guaranteed cash, you know what I'm saying? But Marvin Bagley, he's such an intriguing player. And granted, it's a little bit biased because I'm a huge Duke Blue Devil. I'm a huge bandwagon Duke Blue Devil fan. When I was growing up, my family, my grandparents live in Chapel Hill, and basically just kind of surrounded with North Carolina, you know, NC State, Duke, and I basically picked Duke at a very young age. So my thoughts on Marvin Bagley are a little bit biased, but there's so much potential there. You're taking a player, it's almost trading for like a guy like Bol Bol, but just like better. Like, it's trading for like a Bol Bol who's had opportunities in the league and he's flashed his potential. Defensively, I guess Marvin Bagley definitely can get better, but There's so much hype around this dude. I'm trying to see, can I get his Detroit Pistons stats right here? I don't think so. On the season, 10.7 rebounds. I mean, keep in mind, like, this guy literally the number 2 draft pick. He's 22 years old. He is my age. Marvin Bagley III is my age. We are the same age, which makes me feel a little bit shitty, but not that shitty. I love Marvin, but like 22-year-old, second pick in the draft. He's been in the NBA for a handful of years, and he already was written off by the Sacramento Kings. Like that fast? Such a low risk trade, but the reward, you can't even see my hand. You can't see my hand with this 6'8" wingspan. It's through the roof. Marvin Bagley's potential is through the roof. This is kind of like bugging me. So we're going to turn that off. I feel like it's serving as a distraction. And then they got a bunch of guys that are just like intriguing. I mean, Killian Hayes is a really interesting guy. You know, it seems like Pistons fans kind of have a love-hate. Drop a comment down below on your thoughts on Killian Hayes. But I've been making I've made like probably like, I don't know, 30 Pistons videos so far this season. And I just like talking about Killian Hayes because he's another guy who, you know, obviously he was drafted last year. He was a lottery pick. What was he, number 7? Played like 20 games. And comes this season, kind of deals with like, you know, some injuries throughout the year. Sometimes you'll find Killian Hayes sneak into that closing lineup, and I think you're getting at the right track with that. Killian Hayes tonight, for example, plus 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 of 8, 1 of 3 from downtown. I feel like a solid comparison would be almost like Kevin Porter Jr. last year, where it's like this dude's been in the NBA, he's barely played in the NBA, dealing with a bunch of injuries. Like, here's the thing, dude. When you tear your hip, that sets you back. If you tear any part of your body, it is setting you back. You tear your hip, I'm not a doctor. I've never torn my hip. I can only imagine. So don't give up on Killian Hayes. If you're writing a comment right here like, F Killian Hayes, man, he's been terrible for us. Give him time. Trust Troy Weaver. Trust the process. Brings me to Saddiq Bey, our final point. Tonight, he only scored 9 points. Saddiq Bey's on the right track too. So I look at this roster. I'm like, all right, you have a really solid player, Jeremy Grant. Very, very solid young player in Jeremy Grant. But then you have your kind of new era of Detroit Pistons. You have Isaiah Stewart, you have Cade Cunningham, you have Saddiq Bey, you have Marvin Bagley now, you got Killian Hayes, even Diallo, like he's young and he's kind of a stud too. Detroit's on the right track. They're on the right track, and I absolutely love it. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit that sub button for daily NBA content. If you guys want more Pistons videos, drop a comment down below. I love all my Pistons fans. You guys have been rocking with me throughout this whole season, man. You guys have been rocking with me throughout this whole season. I cannot speak. It's getting a little late here. Hit the like button, hit that sub button for more Pistons and NBA content, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.